speaker, so just a warning. For those of you who don't personally know who I am, my name is Andrew Sheahan and I'm a senior. It's remarkable seeing everybody come together to make their own personal difference in something they believe in, year in and year out at these events. Every single year, each person here has their own story about how cancer affected their lives in each way, shape, or form. My story starts 12 years ago in 2006. I was in first grade at the time, and I was living with my mom and my older brother. There was already a little bit of unrest going on, and the complete unexpected was added to that. For a mom that kept herself very active, feeling so fatigued was out of the ordinary. After realizing something was very wrong, she went to Stony Brook Hospital where she got tested for a few simple things. Her white blood cells were chronically high, which doctors attributed to some type of infection. After getting her blood tested multiple times, it was realized then why her levels were so high. She was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. For all the people that loved her that were around her, they could give their own story about their individual, heart-shattering experience about how they found about my mom's diagnosis. For me, I was her innocent 6-year-old son. As I obviously wouldn't understand the severity of it all I was told was simply Mommy was sick. But not like a cold, not the type of sick that could be shared through hugs and kisses, a different kind of sick. From there on out, my mom being sick was a phrase that came to be an explanation for many, many moments in my childhood. Not seeing her every day or consistently being able to hear her voice was something that I never got used to throughout her entire battle. Her illness truly sunk into my young mind when she lived out of the house to spend long-term periods of time in hospitals for treatments across the island and the city. Seeing her involve long car rides and routine procedure of having to disinfect, to put on a sterile cap, gown, and gloves to simply give my mom a hug and sit beside her. It never felt right to me only seeing my mom a few times a week, but not a day went by that she didn't call me or my brother so that way we could take the step outside of the gloominess and simply hear each other's voices, something we all quickly learned was far too often taken advantage of. She tried so hard to keep a sense of normalcy in my life, and I still hear to this day that everything about her fight was for her boys, and for her boys. For as much of the significant parts of my childhood that I could recall, dates like these and my birthdays throughout all of elementary school, opening Christmas gifts, eating Thanksgiving turkey, and celebrating Mother's Day were all spent in a hospital, but were nothing short of days filled with love and laughter filled with my mom's genuine spirit and personality. For being a super mom that she was, she masked the physical weakness she had from her treatments with the love she had for my brother and me. Everything she did was going through was in a positive light. I will never forget the very first day I walked into the hospital room to see her especially gleaming, vibrant smile to receive the grand reveal that she had been waiting to give me. She removed the nanny cap off her head and showed me a freshly shaven head for the very first time. As young as I was, that day was one of the first that my eyes were open to my mom's physical weakness, but also her mental toughness. She and her sister, my aunt, called her G.I. Marie in her battles because of the toughness that she brought to the fight each and every day. The time she was considered healthy enough to live at home were the sweetest of my life. Looking back on it now, she was always looking to go the extra mile to make up for the time that she felt that she owed us, even though it was neither of our faults for our situation. I saw her take a medley of thousands of different pills, and I used to play games with her, organizing her different pill planners. Every time she went into the hospital, my innocent young self was convinced that she would come home again with the same miracle pills as the time prior that allowed her to spend time with her kids. Unfortunately, the combination of chemotherapy, bone marrow transplants, and the gradual reduction of cyclosporin in the process of handling leukemia was relatively experimental at the time, leading to a devastating loss in her battle against AML. On that hot August day, the weight of the world pushed down on my young shoulders for the first time in my life. I had just turned 8 years old at the time, and my aunt had to come to my apartment to break the news to us that there simply wouldn't be any hospital visits anymore, that there was simply no one else to visit. The only way I would describe myself at the time is young and helpless. From simple things to the very obvious ones, my life had changed throughout her battle, but was genuinely altered at the conclusion of it. I was in elementary school, where I would have to assume the role of someone much older than my own age. I had to wake myself up, put myself on the school bus every day, and I found myself actually trying harder in school, only because I knew at the end of each day I would have to go home and do all my schoolwork by myself. I was cooking, cleaning, living, and trying to function as much as I possibly could on my own, because my dad was constantly trying to work to support his 2 boys. Yes, I did have tons of slips at this time. Throughout all these moments, it was easy to have setbacks and think, this is what my mom would have done. immediately be sent into a whirlwind of emotions that no child should ever face in their life once, let alone on a consistent basis every day. However, multiple lights shine through the darkness for me. Many Smithtown families, many people who are here tonight, made it their mission to try their absolute best to dry my tears and always keep a smile on my youthful face. Night after night, just seeing the immense amount of food brought to my doorstep, gifts of clothes, and all other donations were physical items used to show the amount of love and support that my family had. Which, just as how people just how all the things people brought physically and practically overflowed out of the front of my door, the help I was offered and given overflowed the void that was placed in my young heart. Beyond that, such an overwhelming amount of people stepped in to make my life easier, whether it be going to their houses in the morning to catch the bus, going to their houses after school to do homework. And so many beautiful people came together to leave lasting impacts on my life by extremely generous actions and asking for nothing in return. I look back at all the things I remember other parents doing for me and just being awestruck, and I didn't even know what I would do if I was in their situation. Being in my situation, how I went about with life from there on out was changed by the families that helped me fill the shoes that I stand in today. In every moment that I fell, countless amounts of great people were there to help me get up and keep moving forward. Because of that, once I found myself standing and being on my own, I knew in my own ways that it was my turn to go the extra mile. The extra mile that my amazing mom would have done if she was around, and the extra mile all the other people were willing to take for me. Nothing was ever enough for me, and I was in search of anything that I could possibly do, and even still this day, to help all the people that make me feel better, considering no act too big or too small if it resulted in a smile on someone's face. From all the older people that I had around me, I found Relay for Life when I was in 8th grade. To me, it was a perfect outlet for everything that I had to put in me and benefit all the people that were affected by the same type of adversity. Although I don't know the individuals that receive every dollar I've raised, knowing that my team alone raised over $25,000 over the past 4 Relay for Life events, I can only imagine the substantial impact that we've lasted into other people's lives. In some way, shape, or form, the money we have raised has benefited a mother fighting for the sake of her beloved children, just as my mom did for me. If not that, then I know it has gone towards the support of innocent children that I see my younger self in, who hopefully will soon never, ever have to live in the absence of a parent ever again in their lives. I celebrate the life of the most loving person I have ever had the honor of knowing in the short span of my life, my mom, Sheahan, with my relay team. Nobody can ever replace a mother in her son's life, which is why each year I relay for life. Thank you all.